Hi guys, back again with me, Austin from Avoid Heart. Today I'm going to share to you my experience on Hasbro Marvel Legends Infinite Series 6-inch scale Guardians of the Galaxy box set, 5-figure in a box, which is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. So it was supposed to be online based exclusive. It came with this outer box. Okay, it's quite big for my camera set. So alright, that's about it, and this is what's inside. Now if you have watched my previous videos, then you know I've already had Groot beforehand. Okay, I already shared about him. So I just want to show you the packaging here. Is a very cool packaging with Marvel Legends at down there, Guardians of the Galaxy, a cool artwork at the front. Okay, and then the characters and behind, nothing much on the bottom and the top really. Even the side is the same. So behind we have the cool artwork, Photoshop of these products with all the action figures. So I think this is one of the, if you are a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, this is not something new, this is something old, but this is one of the must-have of the Guardians of the Galaxy figure in 6-inch scale. Okay, so this is the cool part. It came with a window box that can be opened to see all the figures inside. Okay, so you have behind here the name and the artwork, which resembles the one at the front part of the box, and we have all the figures inside displayed gloriously. Okay, again, I already shared this guy, Groot, so I'll focus my energy to cover the other figures in the set, okay, along with the accessories. So without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. Today we're going to focus on Rocket Raccoon. This figure, I think this whole figure is not the only release of Rocket Raccoon. There's actually the build a figure Rocket Raccoon with I think similar body mold. The differences is only on the head. That one has an articulated mouth, but this is very cool as well. He looks very serious, and it kind of reminds me of, not this one, this is the smaller version scale. There's the box set that I shared to you guys, the smaller scale box set. I think the paint job on that one was inspired by this, and I think it's quite accurate to the comic. Anyway, let's continue on. Before that, I just want to mention that we are also being given this baby Groot in the pot. Okay, which is interestingly is something that we can find in the smaller scale as well. This is, I believe, came with the single card Marvel Infinite Series 4-inch scale Rocket Raccoon. I may be wrong, but this is the only one that I can find in my collection. So that's probably is the same size with the 6-inch version, and it has more paint app. This is more like dark brown, but I think it resembles the paint job on the Groot here. So anyway, enough with baby Groot. Let's focus on Rocket. Rocket is cool. I think half part of the body is a statue, but at least they still give articulation on the upper half of the body. So that's awesome. That's much better than the smaller scale version. Okay, I like the wrinkles, I like the paint. The paint on the face is one of the highlight, but I felt a bit, I think the QC, there's a bit of QC problem here. There's a bit of black lining here. I'm not sure if it's only on my figure, but this one doesn't have it. I mean, if they're going to have the black lining there, at least they will put a little bit more here as well. So there's a bit of a miss in the paint job, but other than that, it's cool. I think the eyes is painted nicely. Is that those black lining? The wrinkles on the uniform, it resembles the one that Star-Lord has, and I think I like the consistency on the blue coloring that they have on their uniform. I think it's quite important because they're gonna be displayed together, and the consistency on the red as well, and the pocket color here. Yep, so the button color as well. I like the wrinkles, so it's cool. But I have slight of problem. By the way, I will come into it in the articulation department. The head is on a ball joint with a bit of a hinge. So the hinge is just like your standard Marvel Legends by adjusting the hinge. Now that's the problem. I feel that the ball back here doesn't really secured into the pack hole. Don't don't get mistaken, it is still functional. Okay, it doesn't pop off easily if you wiggle it like that, but sometimes if you want to do poses which requires concentration, which especially if you want to pose him with the gun on him, his both hands, can be a bit troublesome because the head pop off from the ball joint. So I feel that the ball joint can be better. It just doesn't sit too deep, a bit deeper. It needs to be a bit deeper into the pack hole. But I'm not sure if it happens to other release, the other figures as well, or it's just me, it's just mine here. So hopefully it's just mine. By adjusting the hinge, you can have this much upward and this much downward, I guess. Okay, and a bit side to side. Of course, it's a ball joint and rotation. Okay, notice that I have to push a bit downward so that the head won't pop off. The tail also is one of the problem. Notice that the ball back there is huge, but it won't. It will fall off easily. It's too easy to pop it off. So it's also a bit of a problem, which is a bit annoying at times, because a lot of times you need this tail to make him balance, to make him stand. It is a ball joint again. You have all kind of ball joint motion, rotation, but it pops off too easily in my opinion. I wish that it could rest a bit deeper than that, but it's still functional. Again, it won't pop off easily. Yeah, but that's a bit of an issue. The arms, probably just pop this off. It's on a ball hinge joint, so you can have this much outward. It's actually a good extension, and then by adjusting the hinge, you can have that much to the back. Of course, rotation fully. The elbow, which is something awesome. You can have this much of a bend and rotation as well. So very standard like Marvel Legends. And the glove here, you have rotation. Notice that both palms are trigger palms. It's because you can put two guns at the same time, so that's cool. And also allows for two-handed motion. We'll see later on. We have rotation here as well. No crunches there, and that's all in the articulation department. Rocket comes with several pistols or gun or rifle or beam or machine gun, laser beam, I don't know, phasma, probably any kind of weaponries, and that's cool. There are 3 weapons. This is the one that's similar to the smaller scale version, and also came with the BAF. But it has more detail. The bayonet that is painted differently, metallic, just like a blade, and then the trigger hole is there. The rocket is also on another color. I don't know if it's a rocket launcher or whatever. So it's cool, and we have 2 handles here, so that means he can handle it with 2 hands. It works really well for one-handed grab, but also very cool to put it on both hands like this, like a shooting position. The second one is this piece. Okay, it looks like a laser beam or something, painted nicely, a bit of blue details there, and there's a bit of trigger hole there. And notice the handle there are two handles, and this part kind of supposed to rest on his shoulder, so we'll see. It also works well with two-handed position of the gun. Notice that I always put the trigger on the right palm if I do this two-handed position, because I felt that the trigger finger on this part is stretched out longer than compared to the left one, so it makes it more suitable to hold the trigger hand, the trigger hole. This is the last pistol or rifle or beam that we have. It's very nice as well. This one is a bit rubbery compared to the previous one, especially the handles here. And I like the paint and the detail of the mold is very nice. That we have the scope here, a bit of blue things going on here, probably a laser blaster or something like that. Trigger hole, and notice that it is positioned like this. So my assumption is that this is strictly for the right palm to handle the trigger, because it's in the middle, but then the additional hold is on the left side, so it's more suitable to hold it with this right hand, and this is left hand like this. And yes, you can somewhat pose him with holding this biggest pistol or biggest rifle with two hands, but it's not the perfect position. Is because you see the trigger finger won't fill into won't fill the trigger hole there. If you pose him in certain angle, it still is very cool. It's just something to note, and it's quite heavy, so if you pose him with one-handed style, it will be very heavy. And lastly, of course, you can make rocket to hold two pistols at the same time with both hands, so that's awesome as well. Notice that I use only the smaller guns, not the last piece that quite heavy, because I think it's more practical this way, and it works. Of course, one of the mandatory thing for this rocket is the ability to pose together with in action pose with Groot, especially on top of Groot's shoulder, which is I think essential for the character. And it's not impossible to do. It's just that we have to find the center of balance, and then play around with the tails, with the all the joints. Also Groot, we have to position him in such a way that to accommodate rocket to stand on him. Can be a bit tricky, but it will be worth the effort. Okay, and the choosing of the weapon, the posing, this is one of it, but I think it works well for me. And of course there are other possibilities as well, so you can try and keep trying until you find the best one. Okay, these are different rockets that I have at the moment. The first movie, the second movie Hasbro, and second movie SHF, the comic version, Marvel Legends. And of course, it's about the same height here. And of course, compared to Star-Lord, I think that's a good proportion. Drax, and of course his pal Groot. Groot is very tall. I already shared to you guys in my previous videos. So okay, this is a good rocket comic version. A bit of miss here and there in the paint, and I think most of important of all is the ball joint on the head, and the ball pack on the tail and on the head. I wish it would sit a little bit more, a bit deeper, and locks in, so that it's still functional. Okay, still functional. So you just have to be more patient with that while posing it. But I do like the option that we have, the additional pistols that we have. It's cool. So thanks guys for watching. I'm Austin from A Boy at Heart. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Goodbye.